Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Washington Nationals. It's September 1st. Excuse me. September 1st. We're 80 and 63. I think it was a pretty good month. That was our month. It was 15 and 13. We were okay. Our worst month since May, but overall still over 500, so 34, 49, and 31 in the last 3 months. I will take that. We are 4.5 games out of first place. We are a game behind Arizona and, 3.5 games up in the wild card? 1.5 over the Braves and then 2 over the Cubs. Our trade deadline acquisitions have been performing quite well. C.J. Abrams, 330, 368, 509, a 130 OPS plus, already good for 1 WAR in 29 games. He's been above average at second base, above average at shortstop, and above average in center field. So he's doing exactly what we wanted him to do. Robert Hassel III, 296, 386, 500, 6 home runs, 24 knocked in 44 games, good for 1.1 WAR. Also playing, it's average in the outfield, but he has been fine as well. And then Andres Munoz, 19 games, 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA, 24 strikeouts, only 7 walks in those 20 innings. So he is performing. So the 3 guys we picked up are doing really, really well. On the other side, Heston Kjerstad, 234, 299, 443. You guys have 8 home runs, above average OPS plus. OPS sitting at 742. And Juan Soto, only batting 233 since moving to the Padres. He's down to 4-star overall, 4-star potential, 778 OPS plus, or OPS, 122 OPS plus. So the players we brought in are doing better than the players they brought in, which is a good thing, because this is obviously an organizational changing type of deal. So we're going to get through September, hopefully get through a successful postseason, and then move to the offseason. So it is roster expansion time. Do we have anybody on the DL that's going to be coming off, or the IL, rather, that's going to be coming off? So Garrett Hilt, he can come back up as one of our 2, and then I think we leave Neebe in the minors for now. I don't think calling him up right now is the best use of his time. I think we can call Madden back up. Or do we call Powell up with his extreme ground ballness? He's an extreme flat ball. It's the other one. Where is he? Paulino. Yeah, he's pitching really, really well in AAA. So I think we will call up Paulino. He'll be a long relief. Avoid high leverage. Garrett Hill will go back into middle relief. And it's time to continue on. We only have, 20 or so games left. Game 1 against Pittsburgh. We lose 3-0. Game 1 against the Cardinals, the first place St. Louis Cardinals. Another loss. Let's get a win here, guys. It's 2 one-run losses to the Cardinals. We're 0-3 so far this month. There we go. All right, so we get a win, 3-2. Score 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Get 2 hits from Lee, RBIs from Lee and Ruiz. Cavalli pitches well. We are 2 games now behind Arizona and 2 games up on the Cubs. We got the Cubs coming to town. This is going to be a huge series right here. Be nice if we could win this one. We do not. Ugh. So Paulino's hurt. We'll just put him on the IL. We're having a rough start to the month. This is not good. We're going to go with Contreras because he's a ground ball pitcher. So 3 games behind Washington and a game up on the Cubs. We get 6 on the road, so make it or break it time here. And Mohampton is out for 4 weeks. All right. Who do we call up in his place? It's Spencer Jones. Hopefully, we need 2 out of 3 here against the Cubs. 1-5 so far this month. we go. 6-0 win. Ruiz a couple of hits. Royce Lewis goes 4 for 4. Burns with a one-hitter. One-hitter. So we're now half a game behind the Braves for the third wild card. 2 games behind Arizona and 1 game up on the Cubs. So we lose this, we're tied. If we win, we are 2 up. Oh, man. All right, so we are tied with the Cubs now. We have 3 against the Angels. How are the Angels? 70 and 80. All right, we're half a game behind the Cubs. I think they won today. So we're out of the wild card right now, guys. Out of the wild card. We're playing an under 500 team, but it's on the road. 8-5 win. That's a big win. Cruz 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. Tovar 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. Cruz homers twice. Tovar and Ruiz. Cavalli picks up his 9th victory. Game 2 in LA. 2-0 win. So back-to-back wins. 3 out of 4 now. That's good. Jung-Hoo Lee has a hit and an RBI. Chase Shores, 5 innings of 1-hit ball. We look for the sweep. This would be a huge sweep if we can get this on the road. We get it. So we've won 4 out of 5 now. 4-run first inning. CJ Abrams, 4 for 5, 4 RBIs. You like to see that. A 3-run homer in the first. Pacheco, 2 hits. Tovar, 3 hits. Manning improves to 11 and 4. I'd offered him a contract. He didn't like it, so we can go back and talk to him again. So 4 years. I don't want to give you 4 years. I'll give you 3. Okay, he wants that 4th year. So if you want that 4th year, I'm going to do something like this. So I will go $10 million in the first year, and then 9, and then 8. See if he takes that. 4 years, $36 million. I would be okay with that. All right, so we've just won 3 out of 4. We're still only half a game up on the Cubs. And now we're going to Atlanta. So we're a game and a half behind the Braves. We could either be, this could either knock us out, and then we got to play the Mets for 3. So we've got 2, 5, we got 8 games left. I don't know, does 5-3 get us in? Does 5-3 get us into the postseason? We lose the first game. Corbin Burns gets suspended for 9 games. Are you kidding? Kidding me. We're still a half game up. Well, we'll see what happens with the Cubs if they win or lose on this day. Still a half game up on the Cubs. Game 2 against Atlanta. 3-2 win. Huge win. We scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Abrams 2 hits. Lee 2 hits. Molly goes 6 2/3. Bullpen does their job. Okay, we're a game and a half up on the Cubs now. Game and a half behind the Braves. 2 games behind the Braves. 2 games up on the Cubs. So we're 2 games up on the Cubs with 5 left. We have the Mets and the Mets and the Phillies. We got the Mets for 3, the Phillies for 2. The Cubs have the Braves and the Diamondbacks. So they have the Braves, 88 and 68, and the Diamondbacks, who so they've got an 88 and 68 team and an 89 and 67 team. We have 3 games against the division leaders, followed by 2 games against the Phillies, who are under 500. So the schedule's in our advantage, but so we got 5 games left. 3-2, I think, gets us in. So Matt Manning signed his contract, so that's huge. So we signed Matt Manning to a 4-year, $36 million contract. We're going to pay him $10 million next year, then 9, 9, and 8. hopefully that ages well, but it also means that we probably need to move on from Molly this offseason if we can. We win this 5 runs in the ninth. It was 1-0 after 8. We scored 5 in the top of the ninth. They scored 4 in the bottom of the ninth. But we hold on to win. Mullinax with a home run. Nebe goes 4. Where are we? 3 games up. 3 games up with 4 games left. So that should mean our magic number is 1, right? To clinch the wild card. It's 3. 4 games left. We have a 3-game. I don't understand that, but that's fine. Game 2 against the Mets. 4-3 loss in 10. And the final game in New York. Can we win this one? We do. All right, so we take 2 out of 3 against the Mets. That's huge. It should put us in a pretty good position. Hassel, a couple of hits, couple of runs scored. Pacheco, 2 for 4. Look at all those 2 hits. Hassel, Lewis, Pacheco, Tovar, and Mullinax. All with 2 hits. Shores goes 5. Shutout. We have a 3-game lead. Now our magic number should be 1. We have a 3-game lead with 3 games left. Right? It should be 1 now. Yeah. All right. So we are a game behind Arizona. And 2 behind. I mean, not that it matters. We're going to play in the wild card. But we're 2 games behind the Braves and 1 game behind the Nationals. So let's see what happens in these final 3. Paulino's eligible to come off the DL. We'll send him on a rehab assignment. Game 2. We still need a win. And there's our win, and we make the postseason. So C.J. Abrams, 3 for 4. Tovar with a grand. He had 18 home runs this year with 45 home run power. Great season for him. Jung-Hoo Lee, 52 doubles out of the leadoff spot for us. Molly improves to 11 and 10. And we clinch the postseason. So we're going to finish up behind Atlanta and Arizona, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and sim the final game of the season. Nebe is getting the start there, and we win 9-5. We win. We finish with 90 victories. Hassel, 2 for 4. Look at C.J. Abrams hitting 340 after we picked him up. He was just fantastic, slightly below average in center field. That might be something we want to take a look at in the offseason. I mean, if we can just move him to third base. Yeah, if we can just move him to third base, maybe. Well, infield arms is 60. Maybe shortstop. I don't know. We will figure it out. But that's a problem for later. Not a problem for right now. All right, so I should be able to activate him. All right, so if we go to playoff roster, and we'll take a look at the stats in a second, guys. So let's see who. So he's going to come off. Burns will come in. Nebe will come off. Bellin will come in. Oh, he's down to 3 stars. That stinks. I think that's it. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So 3-man rotation, taking on the Mets. We should be able to play Burns, right? Like, he shouldn't be suspended for a playoff game. Manning. And where is... I gotta get Molly out there. He hasn't... I mean, his ratings aren't particularly good, but... I mean, he has been one of our best pitchers this season. So we're going to go Burns, Manning, and Cavalli. Burns, Manning, and Molly for the postseason. Cavalli in a long relief role. We're going to move everybody up 1. Kerr, we're going to go normal usage. We're going to leave him right where he is. Put him in middle relief. All right, so offensive or pitching wise, Corbin Burns was fantastic for us. 13 and 9, put up 3.6 WAR, 206 strikeouts. It was a good first season for him. Matt Manning came on huge, 2.5 WAR. Missed part of the season, but was rewarded with a new contract. Cade Cavalli had his best season. Looks like he's finally starting to kind of slot into that number 3 role for us. Really happy with what we got out of him. Munoz was really good after coming over from San Diego. Lucas Sims had a really good year for us, 88 strikeouts, although he may be somebody we look to move in the offseason if we need to sign a contract elsewhere because we still have a really strong bullpen. Molly, 3.74 ERA, 180 innings, although his ratings are all but gone. We may need to move him in the offseason, and the rest of our bullpen was really good. Only Bellin was below average. The rest of our bullpen was quite good. Offensively, Royce Lewis, 5.4 WAR. That's a career high for him. Stole 30 bases. This was a under-the-radar trade by us, picking up Royce Lewis here. This was huge, as it really kind of gave us that second baseman that we didn't have to worry about, and we give up a couple of players who are, Cannon's no good. Santos is still developing, and Yuendris Gomez is fine. I mean, he went back and forth on the shuttle, so good trade for us there. C.J. Abrams, we just talked about him. He was awesome after coming over. Robert Hassel was quite good. The average slipped a little bit, but still good for 4 WAR. Keibert Ruiz had another good season. Jung-Hoo Lee was fantastic. 360 on. We finally get a legit leadoff hitter for the first time in this series. And he's only signed for $3 million. So Tovar hit his best offensive season. Albies was really good for us as a part-time player. He wants like $11 million. So he'll be moving on. Isaac Pacheco, I think, had a pretty good second season for us, frankly. 22 home runs, 75 knocked in. Played basically league average at third base. I'll take it. Mullinax, decent first season. Still has some room to grow. 84 OPS. Was perfect, 16 for 16 in stolen bases. Dylan Cruz had a bit of a down season. Only hit 238, 25 home runs. That was a career low. RBIs were a career low. Strikeouts were a career high. Hopefully he bounces back next season because he's one of the few power bats we have in the lineup now. Yeah, and then Dalen Lyle was a Rule 5 guy. Didn't play that much. So it's time for postseason baseball. I'm going to take on the New York Mets. The 94-68 New York Mets. We hung in there. We played well down the stretch, and we're able to get into the postseason. So middle of the pack offensively, pretty good pitching staff, led by Luis Moreno. Moreno, Fisher Jameson, and Robbie Ray, the veteran. Offensively, Jacob Berry, 43 home runs. Jalen Palmer, 53 home runs. Joey Gallo, they had a crap ton of home runs. A lot of home runs for this team, but I think we can beat them. Corbin Burns against Luis Moreno in New York. Game 1 goes to the Nationals. So Burns is still suspended. Okay, so it suspends him for the postseason, which it shouldn't. I don't believe that's how it works. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that's how that works. Anyway, Dylan Cruz goes 3 for 5, hits a home run, 2 RBIs for Ruiz, 2 RBIs for Mullinax. Cavalli, 5 really solid innings. Hill was terrific, striking out 5 and 2 1/3. Matt Manning against Fisher Jameson in Game 2 as we look to move on to the division series. Let's save this real quick. All 3 games in New York. They were 13-6 against us in the regular season. Series is tied at 1. We lose 4-3 as they walk it off in the 9th. Oof. Abrams a couple of hits. Pacheco, Tovar with a couple of hits. Manning pitches well. But that should mean that we have Corbin Burns going in Game 3. So what that should mean is the suspension should be up at this point because he only had 2 games left. Let's go in here and look. Yeah. So we get Corbin Burns here for Game 3. So, I mean, this is why we signed him, right? Corbin Burns, the big free agent acquisition, pitching Game 3 in New York against the Mets for a chance to move on to the National League Division Series. And we lose. We lose 3-1. Wasn't Corbin Burns' fault. The offense couldn't get anything going. Burns gives up 1 run in 7 1/3 innings. We were actually up 1-0. Corbin Burns left the game with the lead, it looks like, and Lucas Sims blows it, and our season is over. So we win the first game, lose the next 2, but we make the playoffs for a second straight season. I consider that a success and room to grow. And there are a couple of big name free agents out there offensively this offseason, and there's a couple of good pitchers as well. So we should be able to make, I don't necessarily say a splash, but we should be able to sign an impact player here this offseason. So Mohampton, great, is eligible to come off the injured list. I don't care, especially if we can move Molly. I mean, if I can move Molly and retain 80% of his contract for the last year, that's fine. You know, if I can clear up $3 or $4 million. So the Nationals are going to retire Max Scherzer's number. All right, let's go, Max. So the Braves and the Cardinals, the Mets and the Padres, the Yankees and the Guardians, the Rangers and the Mariners. So we don't get it done this season, but we make the playoffs for the second straight season. And I think we're finally at a point where kind of the balance is tipping here a little bit, and the talent is starting to shine through a little. So the Cardinals and the Padres. So Juan Soto and the San Diego Padres are in the NLCS. The Rangers and the Yankees in the American League. (1-1) in the National League. Yankees up 2-0 in the AL. So I think, you know, we're always looking for starting pitching, but we have some young players who I think are developing nicely. Offensively, maybe a third baseman, if we can find an elite third baseman. Maybe a center fielder, and then we can move Abrams to the infield. Maybe no, we got Jung Hoo Lee at first, so I don't think we need a first baseman right now. It's the Yankees and the Padres. So I think ultimately we won the deal, but it looks like the Padres here got a chance to win the World Series. So they can consider consider themselves having won the deal as well if they win the World Series. They're up 1-0 on the Yankees. Up 2-0. Jung Hoo Lee third in the National League in hitting. You see over there on the right. We're lacking power. That's something that we are certainly missing from our team. Dylan Cruz, if he hit 35 or 40 home runs, we'd be in much better shape. But when he only hits 20-something, that's a problem. Yankees and Padres. I'm actually rooting for the Yankees, if you can believe it. Yankees are up 3-0. I don't want the Padres to have the satisfaction of winning the World Series with our players. Oop, tied at 3. Tied at 3. Who's going to win Game 7? The Yankees. So it ended the way I wanted it. Can't believe I'm saying that, but I am pleased with a Yankee victory. The Padres don't get the satisfaction of winning the World Series with our players. All right, now we are on to the offseason. $170 million. So our payroll is, well, okay, so we have no money. That's interesting. All right. I mean, we'll be able to generate a little bit of money with arbitration, but yeah, not a lot. It's interesting. I thought we would have some money. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. We'll make it work. We don't have anybody in the top 10. All right, so let's look at arbitration. What does Albies want? Actually, curiosity. Yeah, 11 for 3. Yeah, we're not that far under budget. You saw we're only about $4 million under budget, so we should be able to get that down under and have some money. I don't want to sign Cavalli long term. He wants 1.6. So 1.525. 1.3 for Garrett Hill. Yep. We don't have a lot of huge ARB numbers, so we're not going to be able to save a lot of money. Like Slayton, we're just going to DFA, so we'll see if anybody is interested in him. Or not DFA, but non-tender, so we'll see if anybody's interested in him. Justin Brule wants 1.2. He was really good. We're going to non-tender Escobar. That saves us 1.6. Moran wants 2.6, 2.5. Yep. Paulino. Save 1.4 million there. Fronder Veras 1.3. All right, so 2.4 for Cruz. 3 million for Tovar, so it should be 2.850. 2.9. 2.9. And we got 8.4 for Hassel. So 8.4, we should be able to get him for 8. Yep. Okay. All right. Does anybody want Slayton? I mean, I'd be more than happy to just non-tender. See if we can get a pitcher for 75% as good as him that maybe is on a minor league deal. Get Edouard Julian. No. Okay. No, let's just go ahead and... Oh, I think we need to make a deal. Like, I don't know that he's going to want to talk to you. He doesn't want to talk to us. All right. So if we look at our salaries... Is there anybody that we can non-tender right off the bat? Spallin, sure. No one's going to take him. That'll save us some money. Christian Franklin, DFA. Holden Powell. Poisson still has some value, so I think it makes sense holding on to him. Ray Kerr. 2.3. 2.2. 2.250. I think we're good with that. So I need to try to move Molly. So what can we get? Even if we just go like 90%. Anybody want him for 90%? No, even I'll go 100% and back it off. Oof. 100%. 100% veterans. Somebody has to want him. All right. And there we go. We can back off from this, throw in some players, and call it a day. Want someone on a minor league deal, though. Edouard Julian. Sure. Like all of my good players. All right, so let's go back and let's try that again. Let's look at someone who's not as good, who's on a minor league deal. Jay Shugart. Here you want Guerrero. Yep, I'm fine with this so far. There we go. That'll work. So let's take Guerrero out. All right, so they won. Okay, I'm fine with this. So we're going to send Tyler Mahle to the San Francisco Giants, along with 3 minor leaguers in return for Chase Shugart, who is just, you know, a player. Unless we can get somebody else that might be a better value for our team. We got any ground ball pitchers? Sean Reed Foley? No. Justin Thomas? No. he's not a minimum player. That's fine. I'm going to make this deal. So Guerrero looks like he could be a decent pitcher. He's the number 54 prospect in baseball, but we have him at 20 years old in rookie ball. High work ethic. If he develops, he develops. But we need this to get Molly off the books, so that's fine. So that should give us a little bit of money to play with. Yep. Fan interest still just a 73, though, which is a little concerning, so we may have to sign some bigger name players. I want to look and see if we have any elite scouts that have... Yeah, just Jerry. Okay. No, I don't want him. Yep, that's it. Oh, Marty Jansen. Good, excellent, good, excellent. What's our scout? Okay, yeah, our scout's better. Rick Hahn out of Winnetka. That's where all the rich people live. Okay, let's go ahead and delete these messages. Let's look at the waiver wire real quick. A lot of times you can find some players on the waiver wire right at the end of the season. Yeah, look at that. A lot of players on the waiver wire. Pedro Figueroa. I mean, we could get someone like Figueroa and then trade one of those other pitchers. I mean, I would be good with that. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and sim. All right, so we pick up Figueroa. A ground ball pitcher, only 25 years old. So if we add him to our roster, so if we go to a 5-man rotation, we're going to have Burns, Manning, Shores, Cavalli, and Neebe right now will be our rotation. We try to move on from Lucas Sims. Ooh, you can pick up Alexander Mojica. Can we get a reliever from you as well? I mean, I don't like making a deal with a division rival, but... This guy looks like fun. Yeah, I'm not giving any of those players. I feel like we should be able to sign a reliever that can give us what Sims gave. Sims was pretty good. I mean, don't get me. I mean, he was pretty good. 127 ERA plus 1.8 WAR. Fly ball pitcher, I'm not crazy about. We got plenty of relievers. I think this is a fair thing. They don't have... Excuse me, I don't have a lot of prospects. I don't know how they were this good, to be honest with you. Not a very good pitching staff. It's all about their offense. I mean, I'd love to get me a Jackson Wentworth, but... Yeah, they don't have a good pitching staff. Really don't. Spencer Strider, Extreme Flyball, Victor Arano. No. Hoping maybe there's like an undervalued ground ball style pitcher. Like Angel Zerpa, just to give us some additional depth. can have Losicki. All right. That's good. That's fine. So the fans like Zerpa. So our fan interest is 72. We now are up to $24 million. So now we can be a player in free agency, which is what I was hoping for, because there are impact players in free agency this season. And with $24 million, we should be able to do something with that. All right, so fan extension, fan reaction for Robert Hassel, fan reaction for Dylan Cruz, fan reaction for Garrett Hill. So that's 3. We went from a 72 to a 75 with those three signings. Moran signs his contract. Rogelio Rojas is a nobody. All these guys. I forgot about Mojica. He was kind of cool looking. I didn't want to put them all on the active roster. Damn it. Oops. It's DFA. I got to do them one at a time now. That was stupid. Franklin. DFA. Holden Powell, DFA. And David Paulino, DFA. Wanted to look at Mojica. I mean, if those ratings are real, he's really good offensively. Only 25 years old. Kind of dig that. Let's take a look at Gold Gloves. See the American League there. And in the National League, no Nationals. Okay. Reliever of the year. I bet Sims got some votes. American League goes to Nick Mears. National League go to Radiel Martinez of the Cardinals. Nope, no votes at all for Sims. So we cleared out $24 million in salary this year. Platinum Stick AL. See the names there. And in the National League, any Nationals? Nope. Brady House in Colorado. He's a beast. There's Vlad. That would have been a nice pickup last year. Eric Batanti wins the American League Rookie of the Year with a .270 batting average, 33 home runs, already putting up 5 WAR. I can admit when I was wrong. I was wrong. Baek Ho Kang was one of the international guys last season. He had a really good season for the Phillies. Michael Mullinax finishes second. We've got Manager of the Year, Bob Boone, and Mark Pryor of the San Diego Padres, Cy Young Award winner. For the first time ever in this playthrough, I think we're going into the offseason with a solid pitching staff. So Reed Detmers wins the AL Cy Young. In the NL, it goes to Adam Hill of the Cubs. It's Corbin Burns finishing 4th. Yeah, I think we finally have a good pitching staff. Like, I'm happy with my starting pitching. Good combination of veterans and young guys. Jose Ramirez, your American League MVP, and in the National League, it's Jalen Palmer. No surprise. Only Royce Lewis on this list for us. All right. Let's get up to arbitration. DFA for these guys. It's AAA. Let's stick them all in AAA. Get up to arbitration. as we keep simming. I guess I could have just paused the recording, but whatever. All right, let's click through arbitration. So we win with Angel Zerpa. Justin Slayton wins, so we may end up trying to move him. And we win for Ty Madden as well. All right, so where are we financially? $25 million. Let's get up to free agency and see how that changes. $25,835,000 up to $28 million. So there are some international guys. Are any of them any good? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. A lot of pitchers. None of them are any good. Nope, nothing good. Free agents. We got Bobby Witt Jr., one of the big free agents. This is one of the players I was looking at. He wants $35 million, but we could sign him, stick him at third base, and call it a day for the next half dozen years. We could continue to... Oh, he's fragile. I'm not paying him. We got O'Neal Cruz, who wants $24 million. He had 38 home runs last year. Drove in 103 runs. Logan Gilbert, $24 million. Spencer Torkelson, $34 million. So there are some names. Luis Robert, if I wanted a center fielder. Again, he's fragile, though. No compensation. So we've got some money to spend, and we've got some players to spend it on. So let's take a quick look before we do anything. Let's look at our lineup. Let's clear. So catcher, Keibert Ruiz. First base. And he's only a first base. He's only under contract for this season, so I don't want to not sign somebody because we have Jung-Hoo Lee. So Jung-Hoo Lee at first, Royce Lewis at second. Right now, our shortstop, he's not really a shortstop anymore. That range is dropped. Tovar would have to be a third baseman. I don't know if his bat's good enough to play third base. So right now, I think it's Abrams at short. Abrams at short, Pacheco at third, Hassel, Mullinax, because we could always make Lee our DH if we needed to. We got Cruz there, so Jung-Hoo Lee could play first base, DH. Could also potentially play a little bit outfield. Yeah, he can play the outfield too. So center field, I mean if we get a third baseman, we can always move Pacheco over to, I don't know. We need the bat from Pacheco more than I think we need the glove from Tovar. As good as this glove is at third and second. And then pitching, I don't think we need anything. Burns, Manning, Shores, Cavalli, I think are fine, or our 1 through 5. And our bullpen is good. I think our bullpen is good. We got Efren Contreras as kind of that sixth starter. Garrett Hill, he's going to be a reliever. We got Zerpa as well as a starter. So I think we've got 7 decent starting options, and then we still have Madden in the minor leagues. Dan McDaniel, who was one of our picks last season, he's going to be up within probably the next year or so. Jay Murdoch is going to be ready soon. Barclay is going to be our starting shortstop in a couple of seasons. So I think we just take whoever we think the best player is and then just make it work. I'm kind of liking the idea of Luis Robert, even though he's fragile. He played 150 games, 112 the year before. I mean, he hasn't played less. He's played less than 150 games once. So He's good defensively. He's really good against lefties. He's passable against righties. He wants $25 million. Initially, I was thinking about Bobby Witt, but that's just a ton of money. 8 years, $35 million. I bet we could get Robert. He wants 8 years as well. I'm not giving him 8 years. I like the idea of O'Neill Cruz. Had him at shortstop. He's really good at first. 9 years. That's a much more reasonable dollar amount, though. No comp picks for Cruz or Robert. We need the power. But I think ultimately Mullinax moves to center when we call up McDaniel. McDaniel will go to right. Mullinax will go to center. I think that's probably big picture, right? I think that's probably the plan. So is O'Neill Cruz the move? I mean, his ratings aren't great. He's got decent speed. His ratings are okay, but they're not. I mean, Witt's really the one I want. Can we talk Bobby Witt down from this? Like if we went 6 years and we made this first one 25, then like 27.5, then 30. 27.5, 27.5, 25. Yeah, he doesn't want that. He's 27 years old. Let's sim ahead a couple of days and see if there's any additional interest in him. 'Cause I don't want to miss out, obviously, but maybe we can get away with... Let's just keep simming here. And if we start to see some of those players go, then we can jump in. Tommy Eveld. Still nothing. So far, nobody has offered Witt a deal except for us, and that's what I was hoping for. Because he might come back to us and say, hey, I'm willing to discuss with you again. Baker. All right, I'm just going to sim ahead a week. We'll just take our chances and see what we see. Fingers crossed that none of those guys are gone in a week. My hope is that Witt comes back to us and says, I want to open up talks again. Because like that deal that I offered him, 25, 27, 30, 27, 25. There goes O'Neill Cruz to the Padres for, that's not a bad deal. 7 years, $163 million. Let's go back and do this again. So 25, 30, 32.5, 30, and 25. Still not enough. All right, let's try 6 years. I want to see if it's the years, the dollar amount, or both. guess is that it's probably both. Okay, well, he's down to 5 years now. His first year has to be $25 million. It's all I can offer. 30. It's $250 million. 32.5. 30. Then 27.5. Nope. All right, let's keep going. Nobody is off. No one's showing any interest in him yet, so I'm hoping Robert doesn't get signed, so at least we have an option if Witt doesn't want to sign with us. I can't give him more than about $26 million, though. That's the problem. I guess maybe I can. Can I give him 27.5 in this first year? And then 30? And then 30? And 30? And 27.5? Nope. Okay, so he really wants that 34. I can't give you $30 million. I don't want to upset him and then we lose out on him altogether. So Torkelson signs with the Red Sox. Bieber with Toronto. All right, that's fine. So no one has offered Robert a deal yet either. Let's see what happens at the winter meetings. All right, so there are the Dodgers. 27.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's $275 million again. Let's do 32, 35, 32, 5, and 27, 5. We're so close, I think. We're so close. Okay, 28, 32, 35, 32. I think this is probably going to be the last offer we're able to make him. 28, 32, 35. I think that's fair. I can't offer him any more than that. He's killing me. It's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go here. What's going to suck, he's going to end up signing with the Dodgers for less than that. Watch. So still nothing for Robert. Keeping an eye on Robert, too. My goal is to land one of them. Witt's the big fish. All right, he's interested in talking to us again. So can we do that? Really? So we're right back to here? This guy's killing me with this. 28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 32, 32. Can we do this? Okay. You're killing me. You are absolutely killing me. Robert now has a contract offer from Toronto. 5 years, $25 million. I'm much more We're going to lose both of them, I have a feeling here. I have a feeling we're going to lose them both. If we can get Witt back on the table, I'll just give him what he asks for. We'll go 28 in that first year, and then the rest will be 32 or whatever. Let's see how much time we need from Witt before we can. He's still not interested in talking to us. I'm hoping he comes back to us here and gives us another opportunity. All right, so our scouting is fine on him. I'm just afraid that I waited too long. It's going to be my fear here. He's still at 25 million. Because if Witt signs, I will jump in on Robert if he's still there. I'm going to check every day until he's willing to talk to us again. Or he signs with LA. Come on, Bobby. Give me a shot here. Robert's still there. 5 years, 25 million. I feel like I shot myself in the foot with Witt. Philadelphia's talking to him now. And he signed. Okay, so he got what he wanted. 5 years, $167 million. Good for him. All right, let's turn our attention to Luis Robert. His ratings have stayed the same. This feels like an overpay. That's really disappointing. We can get Freddie Freeman, a reasonable contract. Play him against righties. September of 2026 was his last rating drop. Fan favorite. It would be a huge signing. I mean, is there some way that we can get them both? Like, if we offer him 4 years, something like, no, that's way too much. He wants that 5th year. I'm not giving you a no-trade clause. If it includes a no-trade clause. I'm not giving him a no-trade clause. All right, so he wants 4 years. I'm not going to give you 4 years. We're going to do 2-team options here. It's going to be 3 years, 8.6. Okay, so we can bring Freddie Freeman in. Play him primarily against righties. Didn't quite go the way I wanted it this offseason, but that's fine. Let's look at pitchers. We don't have to spend the money just because we have it, right? Like, that's... Oh, where'd this guy come from? Let's give you 250. Absolutely. Sure. Barrios. Yeah, I mean, we could pick up another starting pitcher. Berrios wouldn't be a bad ad. We got Shane Baz. Berrios is 33. Baz is 28. I think he's probably... That's a long-term deal, man. No thank you. Okay, so Shane Baz, Freddie Freeman, and Gwang Woo Kim. So then what else do we need? Yeah, I still would really like Freddie Freeman, or I would like Luis Robert, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So our offseason may be Shane Baz, Freddie Freeman. But if we pick up, like, I mean, if we do that, like, am I just overthinking this? Like, Jung-Hoo Lee is still our leadoff hitter. Where does he play? Dylan Cruz plays against both lefties and righties. Hassel plays against both lefties and righties. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of kind of sitting on the bench for some of these guys, which I'm fine with. Do we have enough power in our lineup? I still think Freeman looks really damn good, though. He's been above average each of the last 3 seasons with the Dodgers. Incredibly popular, so we're going to get a huge fan interest. We can't really hit lefties, so he just doesn't play against lefties. He mashes righties, though, so he's going to have to be our starter at first base against righties, which means Jung-Hoo Lee goes to the bench. But against righties, Jung-Hoo Lee is really, really good, too. Then we got Mullinax, Hassel. See, the problem is Abrams goes back to the outfield with this defensive alignment, and I'm not crazy about that. I wish there was a way I could get Baz, Freeman, and Robert. I think this is the smarter move. I think this is the smarter move. Can we get him for 16 in that first year? And then I'll give him his 25 for the rest. Oops. I think that's the smarter move. Let's just sim ahead and see if we get it. Because this allows us to put Robert in center, and it allows us to have Abrams on the infield where he's a better player. All right, time for the Rule 5. A 2-sack. Could go on the 40-man. That's not what I wanted to do. Place on the 40-man. Pete, place on the 40-man. Owen Woodward, we will place him on the 40-man. And I think we're good. Yeah, I mean, there's really everybody that's on the 40-man I want there. So let's look at the Rule 5. We're picking 23rd. Campbell Smithwick. It's the first time I've seen him really develop. Luis Aguilera. Meh. I don't know that we're going to be doing anything in the Rule 5 this year, which would be a first for us. But I don't know that, yeah, I don't really see much that is better than what we're already setting out there. If we can get Baz and Robert, that would be awesome. Jake Clemente, out for 4 months. Any good pitchers? Zach Pop is back. $4 million. No, I'm good. I like the extreme ground ballness, but not for $4 million. We already have enough of that. Alvarado's there. He's probably a bit expensive. Give me just a second, guys. Forgot to take my Claritin today. Allergies kicking my butt. I am recording, right? Okay, good. I'm really nervous. All right, so I don't think we're going to do anything in the Rule 5. I don't think we're going to do anything in the Rule 5. I think we're just going to sim ahead until we get answers from the 2 guys that we have offers to. Shane Baz and Luis Robert. Or is it Robert? I think it's Robert. Let me look. How does Luis Robert pronounce his name? Yeah, it's more like Robert. Okay. I was right. Luis Robert. We still have... Are they pending or are they... Okay, so Robert favors the offer. Baz is still pending. Baz is more of a luxury than anything else. So, you know, if we start to get into a bidding war with him, I'm not uber concerned about it, but... Kim prefers the offer as well. All right, so we signed the minor leaguer, right? Where is he? Is he in the DSL? Yeah, he is. We're going to have to put him on the 40-man next year, which is fine. Stick him in there for now. Disable. Maybe we can use him as a trade chip. I mean, those are really good ratings. All right, so we signed the I don't want to say the worst of the 3, but the least important of the 3. Robert's the big one. Baz, obviously, a huge contract as well. They both favor their offers. Let's just go ahead and sim up to the next month. You guys are watching me sim day by day here on my computer that technically, I mean, this is a gaming laptop that I play it on, but when you've got every single league playing. All right, we got a personal message. We signed Luis Robert. That is awesome. So he is signed to a 5-year, $116 million contract. $16 million this year, then $25 every year after that. That could come back to bite me. But we needed, I think we needed another bat, and we got it in Luis Robert. So let's go ahead and sim ahead and see what happens with Shane Baz, see if we can bring him in, and then we'll call the offseason complete. Might make a deal or two, you know, now that we've got a few extra players on our roster, but... Spencer Jones out for 1 to 2 weeks. Still nothing with Shane Baz, huh? Still favors the offers. 4 years, $52 million. He was 5-20 a couple years ago, but great ratings, ground ball pitcher. I feel like he could be really, really good for us. And now with Robert, that's going to allow us to move Abrams to shortstop and put Robert in center. So that is perfect. We now have very good outfield defense, very good infield defense. And I think it means we can move on from someone like Tovar. And there's some interest. Maybe get another ground ball style pitcher. But let's see what happens with Baz first. That's my single biggest concern. I'm also curious what that did for our fan. I mean, that should have given us a fan interest bump, right? I didn't even notice it if it didn't. We're not going to have any money left to sign anybody, but I'm fine with it. Still nothing, huh? Up to a 78. Revenue per game is up a little bit. I would like to put more money into scouting and development, but it's so tempting when you see these free agents out there, isn't it? He's well known, so we'll get a small fan interest bump for that too if he signs with us. Hopefully he signs with us before preseason starts. I think that was the right move to not sign Freeman and to go after Robert. Gives us a center fielder. We don't need him as a leadoff hitter. We can put him in the number 2 hole, I think. And then we can move Ruiz down. I don't know. Ruiz in the number 2 hole has been doing a really nice job. All right, so we signed Shane Baz. Fantastic. Do we get a fan interest bump for that? We don't. We're still sitting at 78. Interesting. Okay. They want to trade us somebody. Who do they want to trade us? Sully Matias for Dalen Lyle. No, I'm good. All right. So, salaries. Now, Ruiz's contract is up. We may be looking for a new catcher coming up just because, I mean, he's been so good, though. Urias' contract comes off the books next season, which is nice. Tovar Moran, what does he want? He wants $10 million. I don't know that I want to give him that much. So what can we get if we offer up Tovar and Moran? He's only making 2.5, but yeah, see, this is why you make offers like this. You can get someone like Ben Leeper, who is the same age as Moran, essentially the same pitcher, 65, 55, 55, versus 75, 65, 45. We give up Tovar, who we don't need. So that's a distinct possibility. We got Yoendris Gomez. We can bring him back. Nope. Kind of like this deal for Leeper. He was really good last year, 179 ERA plus. This trade would make our team better for sure. That's what I like to hear. Elijah Dukes. We get him. Just saw the prospect and I was like, ooh, he's pretty damn good. Alcantara. Sincere Kissy. That's an awesome name. Campbell Smithwick. Can we get him? No. Be nice to get another catching prospect in our system. Just in case. Fry. Everybody likes him. Sure. All right, make the deal. Let me just save another $4.7 million. Bring in Ben Leeper. And those are the kinds of deals we still need to make, right? I mean, we still have some money for free agency. I'm probably going to just take that and put it in here, though. Put this at $20 million. Put this at $20 million. And I am going to sim up to opening day. When we come back, we will play opening day, and then we will call it an episode. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. It is just before opening day, and I made one more trade. It's a player that I've been looking at a couple of times over the last couple of seasons trying to get him from, of all teams, the San Diego Padres. So we made another trade with the Padres. But we were finally able to get our man as we pick up Crowe Armstrong to be our fourth outfielder. He's not fantastic, but he's a guy that I wanted. Very good defensively. Making a, his contract is fine, 1.4. But he will be a good fourth outfielder for us. And we had to give up Dalen Lyle, who we picked up in the Rule 5 last year. Lyle's a bit better offensively, not quite as good defensively. He's fragile. So to me, that seems like a good deal. Moving a guy that we picked up as a Rule 5 draftee for a certifiable defensive stud when needed, if you will. So we're at opening day. We're taking on, I think that's the Dodgers. We're taking on the Dodgers, I think. Starting tomorrow, we have to cut down the roster. We're at 39, 21 pitchers. We got to send 8 pitchers to the minor leagues. That'll be interesting. Miller Green, Owen Woodward. Yeah, this is going to be harder than I thought. I don't know. Like, I was gonna send Neebe down, but he literally pitched 13 hitless innings or scoreless innings in spring training. Figueroa we picked up on waivers. I don't know what to do. I guess we can send Zerpa down. He'll probably be one that should go down. Oh, he's out of option years. Okay. We'll DFA him, I suppose. Ty Madden? No. Anybody want him? Let's see if anybody wants him. Nobody. Well, okay. So there are some names, but anybody that's on a minor league deal. That has similar ratings, but is a ground ball guy. Kind of what I'm looking for, I think. Anything that can save us a little bit of extra cash, right? That's what we're looking for. Alec Jacob, ground ball pitcher. Serious platoon issues. Yeah, they are pretty serious. I don't want to go to veterans because that's going to show us players making big money, and I don't want that. Oh, excuse me. I mean, I suppose a guy who's making the league minimum would be fine too. Nick Lofton. I don't want to make a big deal out of this. I mean, I should. Can I send Madden down to the minors? Yeah, I can. It's not even an issue. All right. All right, so I have 7. I still have to send 4 more pitchers to the minor leagues. Oh, boy. Okay. Slayton's got really good as a reliever now. Jose Geraldo was the guy we picked up last season. Oh, these guys are all out of option years. That's not good. Chase Shores. It's got to be Shores or Neebe. Might have to be both of them, because even that only brings us to 15. Leaper's an extreme fly ball. Slayton's an extreme fly ball. Varus, we got ground ball, ground ball, ground ball, ground ball. Geraldo is got to be... He wasn't good for us last year. I get the impression that he gets snagged if we try to... if we try to slide him through waivers. So let's see... all pitchers. hoping maybe there's a young stud pitcher that somebody's willing to, like relief pitcher that someone's willing to give up. You know, trade 2 relievers for 1 kind of thing. All right, what about if we go to regulars? Because I don't want to just DFA these guys. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to just DFA these guys, but I think I might have to. Yeah. Bring back old friend Jonathan Cannon. I think we're just going to have to take our chances. Mazur's an extreme ground ball guy. All right. So I think we bite the bullet here. He can go down and he can go down. So we're going to do Jay Shore. Send him to... Who did I just send down to AAA by mistake? All right, so we got Burns, Manning, Cavalli, Baz. We still have to send 2 more pitchers to the minors. So Contreras is going to be our number 5 for now because he doesn't have any options. Leaper, ugh. Slayton, Bellin, Kerr, Veras. Figueroa. Okay, so Figueroa can go down. I'm not crazy about sending him down, but... And who's this neutral guy? It's Geraldo. Okay, I'm just going to DFA Geraldo. Not going to be able to keep everybody. So this is going to be... And I think... So Baz will move up. I think Baz is our number 2. So Burns, Baz, Manning, Cavalli, and Contreras with Neebe and Chase Shores kind of on the ready. So we're at 31, so we have to send 5 batters down. So Banfield, Pete, Jones. We got to send 2 more down. Is it Poisson? I think it's Poisson. Matusak is actually a better defensive player. And then we got to send 1 more down. And for some reason, it doesn't have Royce Lewis in the lineup. All right, well, that's just silly. Mohampton? Yeah, Mohampton with his 157 batting average. All right, so there's our 26, right? Yep. Okay, so let's... our pitching staff, we have the rotation set. Who do we want as our closer? It wants to start Leaper. The extreme... I don't know about that. I don't know that I'm crazy about having 2 extreme fly ball guys as my closer and my main setup. So Munoz, I think, will be the closer. Leaper will be... unspecified for now. Bellin will be set up. High leverage. I want to back out and go back in. Kerr will be set up in middle relief. Then we've got Veras will be middle relief, used more often. Slayton will be used more, normal usage and long relief. Garrett Hill will be long relief, emergency. He'll be middle relief. He'll be specialist / middle relief. All right. So Slayton and Leaper will be our 2 middle guys with Veras used more often. He'll come in 7th or later, and we'll run with our pitching staff like that, and we'll see how that goes. Lineups. Lineup's going to look a little different this year, I think. Clear all lineups. Batting ratings. All right. So, I and avoid K. This tells me that K-Bear Ruiz really should be our leadoff hitter. So if we do Ruiz in the leadoff spot, go Robert in the number 2. Jung-Hoo Lee, number 3. I don't like that. Cruz 4. Something like that instead. Lee batting leadoff with Robert 2nd, Ruiz 3rd, Cruz 4th. Hassel 5th. He's the DH. He's in left. Oh, I forgot about C.J. Abrams. Right, we got to get him up there. He's going to bat 3rd. We're going to do that. We're going to bat Robert down there. Maybe move him up against lefties. Mullinax in right. Lewis, then Mullinax, and then, wow, we got Pacheco batting last. It feels like a pretty damn good lineup. Feels like a good lineup. Crowe Armstrong will back up in all 3 outfield positions. He'll play a few times a week. Make sure everybody stays healthy. Mojica backs up at 1st and 3rd. He'll play every 5th game at 3rd base. Kid can hit. He may end up being our starter before it's all said and done. In fact, we'll go every 3rd game. And then against lefties. Yeah, against lefties, Robert will bat leadoff. We'll do something like that. What's Abrams' ratings? Yeah, they're still fine against lefties. So I think we do something like that against lefties. Mojica every 3rd game. Mojica every 4th game. Crowe Armstrong every 10th game. No, Hassel's a lefty, so it can be every 6th game, every 10th game, every 7th game. Cool. Mojica may end up being, I mean, he's not nearly as good a fielder, but that bat could be too much to pass up. We'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and sim up to opening day. I got to change this. I don't want Ruiz playing every 20 games at catcher. He will run out of steam in a heartbeat. Generating all of our predictions. All right. Reach the playoffs, top 100 prospects. We don't have anybody in the top 10. We need to come back here, go to lineups. Yeah, Trevino's ratings are starting to drop. This looks like it's probably going to be the end of his career with us this year. Preseason predictions. This was somebody that someone had asked me about. So in the American League, you can see there Yankees, Guardians, Mariners with the Twins and the White Sox gaining the wild card. Wes Kath, 54 home runs, no 20-game winners in the American League. In the National League, 92 and 70, having us as the highest scoring offense in the National League with middle-of-the-pack pitching staff. I can see that, but still 92 and 70. Dylan Cruz, 52 home runs. The game is projecting for him this season. Pitching-wise, Burns, 14 and 8. So there you go. You can take a look and pause it now if you want to. Let's go ahead and sim ahead today. Actually, let's look at minor league system rankings. We are where? 16th. We got Andres Guadalupe is 27th. Pascual Longoria is 58th. Bland is 85th. And Murdoch is 96th. So we need to call up. McDaniel start in Double-A. Probably won't be there very long. Same thing with Murdoch. Let's go ahead and do that. Can these guys? No, they can't go up yet. Barclay, he won't be long for A-ball, would be my guess. He'll probably be up next month or two. Jax Bishop, probably call him up with the ratings. Mobley, no, we'll leave him where he is. Chuck Bland, that contact at a 35 and age 20. We'll see how the season starts for him. And I think everybody else is right where they need him to be. All right, so let's sim through the day. Let's play opening day, and we'll call it an episode. What are your predictions for wins, guys? If you've watched this far into the video, I want to know what your predictions are for wins. Game says 92 and 70. I'm going to go 90 and 72, I think is where we will end the season. You let me know what you think, guys. So we got Jung-Hoo Lee, K-Bear Ruiz, C.J. Abrams, Dylan Cruz, Hassel, Luis Robert, Royce Lewis, Michael Mullinax, Isaac Pacheco, Corbin Burns on the mound, 13 and 9, 377. Got Matt Vierling, Bobby Witt Jr., who we wanted but just couldn't make it work. Ozzie Albies is their number 3 hitter. Mookie Betts still going strong, batting 4th. Max Muncy, Carlos Correa batting 6th. Bryson Stott 7th, Will Smith 8th, Steven Duggar 9th, and Bobby Miller 12 and 8, 360 a year ago. Opening day in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Let's see how we do. Ground out to the pitcher to get things started. K-Bear Ruiz bangs one to right, and we're up 1-0. Well, that's a good start. C.J. Abrams grounds it to second. And Dylan Cruz bangs that one to left center. So a couple of solo home runs in the first give us a 2-0 lead. All right, so we go to the bottom of the first, up 2-0. Burns to Vierling, hits him with a pitch. Bobby Witt grounds to the pitcher. Fielder's choice to second. Pop up on the infield. Catch made there, 2 away. There's a fly ball to center, and that should be the end of the inning. It is. Through 1, up 2-0. Luis Robert is first at bat. Going to be an extra base hit down the right field line for Robert. A leadoff double for our new center fielder. Royce Lewis. 2-run homer for Royce Lewis. So we are up 4-0 now. So 3 home runs in the first 6 batters of the game. Mullinax grounds out to first. Pacheco now. Our number 9 hitter pops up. Foul. Catch is going to be made by the first baseman. Top of the order in Jung-Hoo Lee. Flies to left. We score 2 more. We're up 4-0 after an inning and a half. Max Muncy. He's going to pop out to center. 1 away. Payoff pitch to Correa is a strikeout. First strikeout of the year for Burns. And Stott, he hits a fly ball to center. So a 1-2-3 second. K-Bear Ruiz, 2-2 pitch on him. Strikeout. C.J. Abrams. Lines out to left. And Dylan Cruz. Base hit to right for Dylan. Yeah, and we need a big year out of him. He's like our one true power bat. And he really didn't have it last year. And that's 2-run homer. So Robert Hassel hits a 2-run homer. We've hit 4 home runs in 2 2/3 innings. I talk about how we don't have much power. 4 home runs in 2 2/3 innings. We have 7 hits and 6 runs here, and we're not through the third. They bring in Willis Montgomery. He strikes out Royce Lewis. Go to the bottom of the third, up 6. Will Smith pop up to the right side. 1 out. Duggar now. Pops out to the left side. 2 away here in the third. And Matt Vierling strikes out. So 9 in a row set down by Burns. Mullinax walks. Pacheco strikes out. Jung-Hoo Lee will fly out to right. And ball gets away. Oh, Mullinax steals second without a throw. I take that back. Ruiz strikes out. Mullinax stranded at second. First inning this year, we don't score a run. Bobby Witt with the first hit of the game for the Dodgers. A leadoff single in the 4th. Ozzie Albies grounds to second, and that's a 4-6-3 double play. Mookie Betts swinging at the first pitch. Grounds out to the pitcher. So he faces the minimum in the 4th. Go to the 5th, up 6. 6-3 put out. Dylan Cruz strikes out, and Hassel now. With a base hit, so he's got a couple of hits. Luis Robert. And that's it for the top of the 5th. I'm just going to put my drink literally right in front of the microphone. That's the first run of the game for the Dodgers. Max Muncy with a solo home run. Carlos Correa strikes out. Bryson Stott. Line drive to center field, and Will Smith strikes out. So we're through 5, up 5. Royce Lewis, leadoff walk. Mullinax strikes out. Pacheco grounds to the shortstop. Lewis to second. Jung-Hoo Lee grounds to the left side. So we scored 6 runs in the first 3. We scored nothing in the last 3. Duggar strikes out. 2-3 at first. Vierling, line drive to center over the center fielder's head. So that'll be a 1-out triple. Yeah, 1-out triple for Vierling. Witt's hit by a pitch. Albies with a bloop single to right. It's 6-2. Runner steals third. Line drive to left. Catch is made there. Throw to the plate. And he is safe. So it's 6-3 now. Another stolen base. It's a base hit to right. Is it going to be 6-4? Yeah, Dodgers making a comeback here. 6-4. Correa strikes out. So we go to the 7th, up by 2. We need to start adding to the scoreboard here. Scored nothing in the last 3. 2 away here in the 7th. We go to the stretch, up by 2. Justin Brule will come in to face the lefty. Gets the strikeout. He says Will Smith walks him. Fly ball to center field. That's going to stay in the park. And the 1-2, strike 3. So we go to the 8th, up by 2. Jake Eder against Hassel. Hassel with a bloop to left. That's going to be Robert's 3rd hit of the game. Luis Robert strikes out. Royce Lewis with a sharp single to center field. Runners at the corners with 1 out in the 8th. Mullinax, high fly ball to center. It's going to be deep enough to get the run home. That's all that matters. An RBI for Mullinax here in the 8th gives us a 3-run lead back. And Pacheco with a base hit to right. So that gets down. Runners at the corners with 2 outs for Jung-Hoo Lee. And we're going to go to the 8th, up by 3. Bobby Witt against a new pitcher. I don't know who the new pitcher is. Ozzie Albies, ground ball into the shift. 1 away. Mookie Betts, ground ball into the shift. 2 away. And Max Muncy pops up to the third baseman in foul territory. So we go to the 9th, up by 3. Keibert Ruiz. Base hit to center. And he got it started with a home run in the 1st. C.J. Abrams, ground ball to second. Ruiz moves down to second. Cruz, is that going to get down for a hit? It is. Ruiz will hit third and not score, so he'll stop there. Runners at the corners. Hassel with a pop-up to left. That was weird. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is safe. So we're back up to a 4-run lead. Go to the 9th, up 8-4. Correa leads off with a double. Bryson Stott strikes out. Pitch gets away. No movement, though. Ray Kerr walks Smith. Duggar with a base hit to right. Vierling, fly ball to center. That should get a... well, might not get a run home. Nope. Tying run at the plate. 2 outs in the 9th. Andres Munoz. Ground ball to short. And we win 8-4 on opening day. Offense looks good. Corbin Burns looks good enough to get the win. Hassel 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Cruz has 3 hits. Ruiz, Robert, and Lewis each have 2 hits. We get 6 innings out of Burns. Brule, Bellin, Kerr, and Munoz all come in, and we win on opening day. So that works for me. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. When we come back, it will be May 1st, and we will do May, June, and July. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.